Hello, my name is Marcus, and today we're going to be creating this. So let's get started. We start by just having a piece of text here, just a gorgeous piece of cheesy text. And let's start by pre-composing this bad boy, Control-Shift-C, call it text. There we go. Let's start by quickly animating this bad boy. So let's go up here into the text layer, down into text, and let's click on animate. And let's find the tracking property. Let's go all the way over into, say, seconds 8. Why not? Let's just expand this bad boy until we get some nice hefty space between the letters. And let's go back to the beginning and take it all the way down to 0. There we go. So it just expands over time. Now, before we do anything else, let's just make the text black by clicking on this little black little thingamabob up here. So let's just apply a fractal noise. There we go. Double click on that bad boy. And let's just start playing around with this gorgeousness. So set it to maybe block instead of linear, so we get these nice little blocky things. And let's decouple the uniform scaling. Just increase the vertical, quite dramatic, something like this, really dramatic. And you can maybe still increase the X size until we still get some nice distinctive lines between them. See, now we're getting some gorgeous lines. That's what we want. We all want some lines in our life. And now let's start animating these bad boys. So Alt click on offset turbulence, so we get this nice little expression up here. Let's click on this bad boy. Let's create a new variable called A, and A equals, let's say, 300. Why not? And then we're going to start square brackets because this is an array. It has two values, ergo it's an array. So time times A, comma 0. So now it will animate towards the right. And isn't that just gorgeous? So now let's alt click on evolution and a little bit the same. Time times, let's say 200. Get that a little bit of a, animated noise thing going on there. That's just gorgeous. And now let's just press U on the layer so we only get the keyframes. Let's go over to the last keyframe and let's increase the brightness until we can no longer see any blackness. It just has to be completely visible. And now let's keyframe brightness, go over to the beginning and all the way down the opposite side. Let's just decrease it until it is barely visible. So we just get that nice reflection. So now let's apply, you guessed it, a CC toner, because we want to remap the colors of this little bad boy. Let's change this to Pentone, and let's start making the same type of colors that we want in the actual reflection. So something nice and l'orange here, maybe some nice magenta pinkish thing, a little bit of gorgeousness here, and of course some nice hefty blue. Some blueness here. There we go. So see, already now you can see it makes some really nice colors when it's blending. So let's close this bad boy, Control W. Now let's create a new layer called a camera, very cinematic. And I'm actually setting it to 50 millimeters because that's quite widely used because it's quite close to how the human eyes see things. So you can play around with this, but I just set it to 50 in this case. And now let's make this layer here 3D. This nice little cheese layer. So let's go over into, let's say, second 7, so we get these nice last frame, and let's start keyframing this gorgeous camera. So click on the position here, and let's go to the very beginning and just move it very much back into space, something redonkulous like this, And we also want to actually rotate this bad boy, so click on C rotation, and again go to the first frame and just rotate it like 30 degrees or something, who doesn't like 30 degrees. And now let's apply some nice easing to these bad boys. So I'm just gonna right click on this bad boy, keyframe velocity, gonna say speed 0 and influence 30. There we go. The exact same thing with this bottom one. The shortcut is Control-Shift-K, and you bring up the exact same menu, and there we go, 0 and 30. And now we can go down into the camera options, and let's start playing around with the depth of field. So I'm gonna apply it here. So now there should be some depth of field, but it is quite subtle since the aperture is very low. So I'm gonna take this up to 300, and maybe the blur level all the way up to 200 because well, let's be a little bit greedy here with our with our depth of field, and let's make it into hexagon so we get these nice hexagon shapes. You'll see if we increase the aperture even more, so we start to get these nice hexagons, hopefully in the highlights, and that's exactly what we want. And see, right now it is not focusing on the last frame, so we just go to the last frame and change the focus distance until it's completely sharp. You can hold shift down to move these values faster until the letters are sharp. So let's start making the reflections. So new layer, there we go, new solid, there we go. Let's just call it reflection, whoops. There we go, and make it somewhat completely white, something like this. And now let's pre-compose this bad boy because we're going to apply effects in and out of the pre-comp. So let's just call it reflection as well, doesn't really matter, something like this. And let's make it actually quite slim, so Control K to bring up the composition menu. Let's take it all the way down to say 150, you know what, all the way down to 100, quite slim, there we go. And now let's apply a fractal noise. Bam, alama ding dong. Double click on that bad boy. So let's start playing around with this thing here. So let's go into transform here, uncouple the uniform scaling, and just scale it all the way up, maybe 10,000, maybe 500 in the size. So we start getting like these really nice soft, elongated contrast things here. And we can already start animating this bad boy. So maybe I'll click on evolution, time times, let's say 200. And now let's start also playing with the offset of turbulence. So I'll click on this bad boy and basically apply the same expression as in the text layer. So A equals, let's say 200, go down here, square brackets, time times A, comma, 0. So see, now it's gonna keep moving towards the right indefinitely. Now we have this nice gorgeous reflection in space. Now let's start applying a hue and saturation. This thing is going to control the color of this entire thing. So let's start playing around with this bad boy. Let's set it to colorize first and foremost. Let's set the saturation all the way up, and if you decrease the brightness, you can see the color starts to seep in. That's what we want. We want to find the colors that we actually want to use. So let's say it's right now 30 plus, all the way down to something bluish, so 130. All right, so minus 30. So what we need to do here is alt click on this color hue, so we bring up this expression, and we're going to use an expression called linear. There we go. And this is pretty darn cool. So first of all, let's just make a new variable called A equals, and we're going to attach this to the rotation of this own layer. So if we go down here to transform, right now it's only 2D, but if we make it 3D, there we go. Now we can have access to these other rotations, and we can apply the Y rotation. We're going to link these two together. So link down to this Y rotation, and now we're going to say A, and I'm going to explain this expression in a second. We want this to go from, let's say, 90 degrees to minus 90 degrees, and we're going to say from 30 to minus 130. So what does this mean? So based on the rotation of this layer, it's going to change the colors of this hue. If I start rotating the layer, you can see it's actually changing color, and isn't that just plain cool? So I'm going to just keyframe this. So I'm going to start by saying, let's say 90, keyframe this bad boy, and 2 seconds later we're going to say minus 90. We can even take it very close to the camera so we can see what we're doing, something like this. We can even scale it a lot in the Y axis, so it's just basically infinite, or at least for our frame. Now we also want to add some variation to this. We don't want it to be a simple color, so we're actually going to apply a fractal noise as well. Double click on that bad boy. So right now let's just do it something maybe a little bit contrasty and quite large, something like this. We can even play around with this, but the most important thing is that you set it to hue. So this is going to hue the colors underneath based on the contrast of the fractal noise. So if we decrease the contrast a smidge, because the contrast is going to be the thing that's actually changing the color. So if we decrease the contrast and maybe play around with the brightness until we just get some nice subtle hues and details in this nice elegant thing here. So you can increase the contrast, maybe play around with the scale, so we get like these nice little details, and then you can just decrease the opacity, so it's just very mild, something like 30, so just get these nice little extra details that's breaking up the color so it doesn't become uniform. You can even set the reflection to screen already now, something like this. So right now it just ends after 2 seconds. We don't want that. We'd want it to actually loop over time. So if you click U to bring up the keyframes, you can let's make another keyframe a little later on, something like this, so it doesn't loop immediately after. Then I'll click on Y position and write loop out. So at the end of these keyframes, it's going to start looping again. Now let's start duplicating these all over the place. So if we go to the start of the animation here, and let's just offset this layer a bit, let's bring it very close to us, something like this. You can really take it close to the camera, so we have a few in different depths, so we start to get some nice variation as we get closer. So you can just start duplicating these bad boys and moving them around in C space here, something like this. Maybe offsetting them in time because we don't want them to be the same color at the same time. So now let's start applying the refractions, and these are gonna be sexy. So let's create a new layer, new adjustment layer here, adjustment layer, and let's call this bad boy refraction. There we go. And we're gonna make this bad boy 3D just like the other layers. You can see it's actually there in 3D space. And press S for scale, and we're actually gonna scale it down quite a smidge. It's gonna be like this nice elongated thing just like the other ones, and scale it in Y quite a lot so it also becomes infinite. First of all, let's apply a transform, because we actually wanted to basically fakely distort the background behind it when it is in front. So see, already now it actually scales the background towards us, and that's pretty darn cool. Next, we're gonna apply an exposure effect, because we're actually going to keyframe when this appears. We also want this to rotate over time, so we might as well keyframe that right now. And let's start keyframing yRotation. So let's start with 90, just like with our normal layer there, our reflection layer. Go over to second 2 and set it to -90. And now we're going to keyframe the exposure, so we're basically faking a highlight on the surface. So click on gamma correction, go to the last keyframe, press U so we have all the keyframes here, and apply another keyframe again to the gamma. And then sort of at the beginning when it's rotating on, you can increase the gamma to like 3. So see, now it's really starting to brighten up whatever is behind it, and that's going to create some really interesting effects. So that's pretty nice. So next here, we're going to apply a curves effect, because we want to actually change some of the colors behind it. So go in here into the curves and into the blue here, let's just apply a little bit of bluish tint. I'm going to hide the GUI, Control-Shift-H, so that we can see what we're doing. I'm just going to boost the blueness here quite a bit, and maybe even the green here a little bit here, just a little bit of a smidge. And now we're going to make things behind it start to blur. So we're going to choose a Gaussian blur, which is awesome. Repeat edge pixels, yes please. And set it to like 80, so it blurs the things behind it quite a lot. It's supposed to really blur it out. And now let's apply a hue and saturation. And let's just, offset the hue just a bit, like 20. And last but not least, let's apply a turbulent displacement. There we go. And it's got to be quite subtle, so like 15. So see, we're distorting a little bit too much. So take it down to like 15. And it will even really help if we add a black background underneath all of this. So Control Y to create a new solid. Let's just call it background. Let's make it completely black and put it all the way at the bottom. So this black background is actually doing a lot of difference. As you can see here, it's blending and color correcting the colors better. So we want to have a black background underneath. And you can just start duplicating the exact same as before. Just duplicate this refraction and move it around in space, and you want it to start at different times. So let's just move it in space here. And now we're going to create the glow, like a global glow that affects the entire screen, that is going to really bring this thing to life. So new layer, new adjustment layer, and let's call this bad boy glow. Let's apply a good old glow effect here. And let's click Ctrl-Shift-H to hide the GUI so we can see better what we're doing. Let's just set it up to maybe 70 or something. And let's just make this a very tight, nice glow. You know, so just very close to the original footage. And let's just set it to screen so it doesn't burn out as much. Let's duplicate this glow and just make it considerably wider. Now we want a nice broad glow there. And last but not least, let's duplicate it a third time and really make this broad. We want this to really fill the screen, so have these really nice big color bleeds across everything, right? So you really can see it bleed around. That's what we want. So once we're satisfied with this, we can actually start pre-comping this bad boy. So Ctrl-A to select all the layers, and then Ctrl-Shift-C to pre-compose. Let's just call it main. And let's go into our new main comp up here. We want to create this nice, more realistic glow, so let's duplicate this main here, and let's call it desat for desaturation. And we're going to apply a tint effect first of all. And then I'm going to apply a image wipe. There we go. And now we're going to set the image wipe softness to like 30. And we're going to increase it until it's almost only like the brightest points in the scene that are being tinted. And now we're going to set this layer here to screen. So see, now we start to get some more nice soft glows. Now let's apply a good old-fashioned color correction on this entire scene. So new adjustment layer. And let's just call this CC and apply a curves effect, because we just want to give it some nice contrast. So a little bit of an S curve here, just dip it down a bit and dip it up a bit, so we get these nice, just these nice contrasty things going on here. And now we want to apply some nice small fake depth of field particles, or like highlights, almost like small flares. So we're going to duplicate this and let's call this alpha. And we're going to create a new solid now, up here, solid, and let's just call this flares. It's not actually flares, but you know, let's be cocky here. Let's be a little bit rambunctious. Now we got these flares here, and we're going to set it to Luma Matte with this main alpha. So if we click solo this layer, and we apply a fractal noise, we can see it only appears where there's actual highlights in the scene, and that's what we want. So let's set it to small bumps first and foremost. Let's increase the contrast, something dramatic, and maybe play around with the brightness and even the scale. Let's make them quite small, something like this. And now let's just apply a camera lens blur. So camera lens blur, and let's increase this quite a smidge so we get these nice hexagons. That's what we want. And increase the aspect ratio so it becomes very horizontal. That's what we want, something really Michael Bay-ish, maybe 5. And we set the diffraction fringe all the way up to 500, because then we get these nice artifacts and edges to these highlights, and that's what we want. Now we can set it to screen, so we get these nice highlights bleeding out from these highlights. So you can even go to the main alpha and maybe apply a curves, increase the brightness of the alpha so you can see these highlights become more visible, and that's quite sexy. So see here at the end, it's way too bright, the glow of the text, so I'm just gonna animate the glow in this previous scene. I'm gonna go over here maybe to 5. And I'm going to keyframe this glow intensity, only the first one, because that's the primary one that's changing everything. And then just slowly bring it down until it's less dramatic. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys can create with this. Feel free to share what ideas this gives you guys down in the comments. If you want to receive a mail whenever there are new templates, advanced templates, tools, presets, courses, etc., then I would recommend joining the newsletter. You can find the link in the description. If you like these sort of text and logo tutorials, then I can recommend the playlist showing on the left here. Have a wonderful day with some cheese.